Okay, we're in. Welcome, everybody, to This Will Only Take a Minute, episode 40, the big 40. Is
that true?
I think. I didn't think about it till... this really hurts my mouth.
I was just about to look it up, but I don't have the YouTube app. We'll get there.
You don't have the YouTube app?
We'll get there.
Yeah. Episode 40, wow. How are you guys been?
I just wanted to see what would happen if I left you out on an island by yourself, and so far you're dead.
I'm hanging.
Yeah, off from a coconut tree.
Well, yeah.
What is this thing about Biden falling out of a coconut tree?
Kamala Harris said something like...
Is this bad? Should I not bring it up?
No, it was something... I don't even know. I didn't know about it till today. I finally heard the context. I can't remember what it is, though. She's like, we didn't just fall out of a coconut tree.
Oh, okay.
It was just one of her Kamala-isms that,
Gotcha.
don't make sense.
Right.
Or do make sense, depending on who you're voting for.
Okay. Yeah, I know. I just saw someone say, like... I was reading, like, Biden dropped out, and then someone said, I just fell out of a coconut tree. And everyone was like, ha! And I was like...
Yeah, I got
missing
very
something?
confused.
I didn't see that.
I was missing something,
I was
too.
like, why were you in a coconut tree? Were you perhaps on an island? Oh, that's how we got to that.
Oh, right. Chicka chicka boom boom, will there be enough room?
What?
That book?
This will only take a minute.
This will only take a minute, Major.
Something about dumb whales or some fat, whatever.
I'm sorry, this will only take a minute.
It'll only take a minute, I promise.
Yeah, maybe she's younger now.
Maybe.
This will just take a minute. Police business.
Can you give us a minute?
This will take a minute, Bruce.
Could you please just give me a minute?
Andy has a big hole in his ear. That's a bad week for Trump.
I know you got to get to work. This will only take a couple minutes, please.
You don't read books? No. Go ahead.
If you listen to a book, did you read it?
Yes.
Wow.
Well,
I
have
agree.
you listened to anything?
No, I agree.
Oh.
Audiobooks.
I just know that people say, like, you didn't read it. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, here
I
we
feel
go.
that way personally. Like, if I were to listen to an audiobook, I'm like, I can't say I read it. But, like, I'm completely aware that that's the same thing.
Oh.
Yeah.
I
Because
can't-
even a book, how many times am I reading a book that I'm not actually paying attention? Like, that probably would happen more often than listening to it. So I can't just be like, well, you didn't take in any information. I'm like, I didn't take in any when I read it.
Do you think it's like a personality trait to be able to read books? Like, is it a laziness thing? Why can't I read books? I just can't.
Because your brain can't shut off.
That's what I'm... well, is that it?
Probably.
Like, why
Your
can't...
attention span.
No, but that's not it. Like,
What have you tried to read?
Nothing. Maybe I just don't want to.
Yeah.
I guess is the problem. I wish I did, but I'm like,
Well, you got to find a good book.
But that's scary, because then it's like, because you've told me this before, where it's like, if I don't like it, I just stop reading it and then just give up on it.
Yeah.
But I'm like,
Well, I've heard people say, like, it's like a movie. When you watch a movie, you're not paying attention to every single moment. Like, you're allowed to skip pages and chapters and still say you read it.
Well, that person...
I don't really agree with that.
I was going to say, that person's never watched a movie with me. I just fast forward 10 minutes. Who even cares?
But yeah, I mean, I don't like fiction. I'll say that. Right. Yeah,
Huh?
I don't like fiction.
You don't like fake.
Yeah, like, but I also don't read. But if I were to read, it would be nonfiction. But I guess I can't really, like, put
That's
my
weird
flag in the
because you
sand.
don't like documentaries. Or you do?
I do.
I
It
thought
depends what the documentary is.
Oh.
Like, I don't like how being able to tell that they're fake, but if they're about nothing, then it's fine. Like the documentary Dark Days about the underground cities in New York where all the bums live in Hoboville, underwhere all the abandoned train tracks. That's impressive.
Impressive?
Impressive
On
to
whose
go
part?
down there. What?
On whose part?
The filmmaker. Imagine how scary that would be to be surrounded by a bunch of psycho bums.
What was that documentary we had to watch? Oh, shoot. It's coming to me. But the Pez dispensers. What was it called?
The Pez Outlaw.
Yeah. That was good, I think. I don't remember thinking about it. This guy, like, sold Pez dispensers, but then, like, the
On the
mob
black
came after
market.
him or something.
Yeah, because he was like...
He was, like, taking him across the
He
border.
was
like it
making his own...
cocaine.
He was, like, using the actual Pez company in, like, Sweden or whatever country. It's all the same to me in Europe.
Whoa.
Like, he was getting the actual company. He was putting in enough orders that they would make custom Pez dispensers and then
that's right.
selling them So then
Yeah.
when they were coming to America, like the Pez America was like really pissed off
I remember that.
because they were like technically officially Pez, but they weren't getting any of the money.
And they tried to like kill him or something. Maybe not. But it felt like that. It felt like dramatic. I remember like tearing up at this guy selling Pez.
I said I thought it would have been cool for him to name his store the Pez Dispensary,
Oh, nice.
but he didn't. It was just called like
Fucking
the
idiot.
Pez
Well, he had to
store.
give it all up
Yeah.
because the Godfather sent a headless Pez.
Yeah, there it is.
Can you hand me my water, please?
Talking to me?
No.
All right.
I just almost
damn.
stuck my finger
Was that
in there.
who? Who?
You talking to me?
I was gonna say. Speaking of the Godfather. Speaking of Martin Scorsese and Robert De Niro, Joker 2 trailer.
That's life.
Should I pull?
Sure.
I guess that's the. Did you know that was in the trailer? Why'd you just say
It's
that?
in the first one.
Yeah, but it's the music for the trailer.
Oh, does it go?
not.
That's life.
It's not, I
Well,
know.
well, well. What do we have here?
Oh, I'm scared. I'm scared. Oh God. Okay.
Shoot! What was I going to say? I was going
Something.
to say, wait, before I forget.
Okay.
Well,
Stand by.
I'm just writing it down. You can.
Do you want to do it first?
No.
Are you sure?
I
Last
forget.
chance.
I forget what it is.
But you're writing it down.
No, I have two things. I forget what one of them is.
3-minute trailer. Whole movie, more like. Whatever.
What's this movie going to be a shot for shot of?
Casino.
The trial of the century. They believe Arthur Fleck to be some kind of martyr.
Does it always play off your
He's
laptop?
not.
It
There's a
doesn't
monster.
matter. It goes back.
Just like Dwight.
When I saw you,
I think that's him singing right now.
for once in my life, I didn't feel so alone anymore.
Oh, you can't do that.
What an idiot. Oh, what I wouldn't give.
For once in my life, I have someone who needs me.
So they're not high. This
Like you, Arthur.
Hey, that guy.
Mad Eye Moody.
Do you still think you're a star?
They're not pulling a Wonka and pretending like it's not a musical.
Oh, right.
Well, they kind of are, I guess. Whoa!
Rated R. How'd they get that shot?
You can do anything you want.
That was nice.
You're Joker.
Oh, this is. You can't handle the truth. Remember the first movie?
Without the sneaking suspicion that we're not giving the people what they want.
It's okay, baby. Let's give the people what they want.
She's getting old.
Still looks great.
Oh, yeah. I just want to put her in a little time capsule.
Sure.
Sing hallelujah, come on, get happy. Get ready for the judgment day.
It'd be funny if you just sang all Johnny Cash songs.
Oh my God. I think we said that the last time.
Oh,
I
damn.
totally forgot. It's weird that we're living in a time where that has to say only in theaters. I totally forgot that it's a jukebox musical. I keep forgetting that. There's
Oh,
no
yeah.
original songs. And I hope they sing a Lady Gaga song. That'd be funny.
Filmed for IMAX.
Wow.
Oh,
You don't see that too often.
Right.
Yes, you do. That
I
one
don't-
was
I don't.
less exciting than the first one,
Yeah.
trailer-wise.
It
That
was tame.
that was weird because like usually the second trailer shows you like what the movie's about.
Mm-hmm.
Still got no clue.
It's a,
Yeah, yeah,
a
nothing.
trial,
I
I
don't-
guess. Interesting. Harvey Dent.
You don't think?
I
But,
do.
like,
That's why.
I also am like, is that real? Is any of this real?
Well, see,
Like,
that's the thing that I hope that it is real this time. I don't want to watch another movie that I'm like, well, how much of that happened?
Right.
Because that was fun for the first one, but now I'm like ready for it.
Yeah.
Taylor Swift be like. So I'm like, well, can we do like, let's do Real now.
Yeah.
Let's do Real. That looks fine, I guess. I don't know. That didn't do it for me. I'll be honest.
Well, I was never a giant fan of the first one anyway.
I know.
So.
You were. I mean, I've said this before. I've liked it less having seen Taxi Driver. Because people are like, it's just like Taxi Driver. I'm like, yeah, who cares? But I'll watch it. Oh wait, it is exactly like Taxi Driver.
Yeah.
And people say King of Comedy. I've never seen that, but
Me neither.
oh wow,
Mom.
that's what people call you, don't they?
Mom.
No. King of Comedy.
They might. We don't know.
Some people do. Some people call me.
You
Mom.
never know. Give it a couple of years.
We'll see. Caitlyn Jenner. Yeah, I think I'm gonna watch it regardless.
Yeah, I'm in.
I'll watch it.
Yeah.
But no, I agree that I'm like that didn't get me hyped up or anything.
No,
Just
it didn't.
Like, you're lucky I already want to watch this because that didn't convince me.
That's true. That's I guess. Yeah.
You're French. What's the second part of the?
No.
You don't know? Oh.
Something too.
It's the least percent. If you looked at the pie chart of my body, the smallest percent of it would be French.
What's the biggest? Native?
Dog.
You're part dog?
99% dog.
Nice. Labradoodle.
That's some people have said that.
What?
Because of like my last name.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and then I
Some of
kill
these
them.
just write themselves.
And then I kill them. You know why?
Did you kill my dog?
Did you?
What?
I didn't kill
I'm a
my
Labradoodle.
dog.
I don't kill Labradoodle.
You just said you kill dogs.
I said I kill people who
He
say
did say
my
that.
last name is Labradoodle. Run the tape back. And then I said, do you know why? Because I'm 90% dog.
He just said 99.
I took it back. It was an exaggeration. It's only 90%.
Here was what I wrote down.
I'm so excited.
I thought it would be a funny idea. Here's pre-stand-up. It's not even a joke. Here's a line you can use on someone. If someone ever comes up to you and goes, hey, my mom says hi, it'd be funny to say, tell that bitch if she has something to say to me, she can say it to my fucking face. There's that.
That just popped into your head?
Yeah. No, it was at work because the HR guy comes through, and my boss came up. He's like, yeah, he was asking if you wanted to take this day off or this day off. And I was like, tell that motherfucker. If he has a question for me, he can say it to my face.
And somehow you got to mom?
Well, I figured it'd be funnier than explaining like a whole HR thing. But it's the same idea. If anyone ever says anything nice to you and has someone else tell it to you, use that line.
I feel like I might have told you this on or off the pod, but did I ever tell you the time where one of your mom jokes went awry? Silas was there. It was at basketball camp.
Orion
trying to fit in. And it was just like, I think, what grade are we in? Like 7th? Something like that? Going into
6th,
7th?
7th, something like that, yeah.
So it was just classic, like, your mom territory, you know? Just your mom.
It was peaking at that point.
Peaking.
Yeah.
Probably, this was the last day of it, probably.
For you, definitely.
And I, keep in mind, 7th grade. And someone said, hey, Rodney, something. And I went, oh, yeah? What about your mom? And the kid looked at me dead in the eyes, and he goes, wish I had one.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, oh, yikes.
Wait, was she actually passed?
And then he was like, just kidding.
Oh, okay.
But I was like, that as a 12-year-old, it was the single worst thing that would ever happen to me. Because
You're like, wait, some people don't have moms.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, well, technically.
Some people have 2.
That's true. Good for them. Good for them. As if it's the child who's the progressive one.
Oh.
Good for the child to be okay with having 2 moms. But yeah, that was not great. We fought through it. I don't think I've since said a your mom joke. That might be true.
No.
Because they're just so funny.
Right.
They are. They're great.
They're
never
really
get
great.
old.
Something about dumb and whales or some fat, whatever.
I realized, well, I can't remember what we said right before the Joker trailer came on, but it was, with the Johnny Cash thing. It was after the Joker trailer. Saying, like, hey, it'd be funny if it was all Johnny Cash songs. And then you said, I think we said that in the last episode. I'll rewatch, not often, but episodes of the podcast, and like something will get set up, and in my head, watching it, I'm like, oh, it'd be funny if someone said this, and then they say it, and I'm like, oh, that's not funny. Or like it's funny, but it's like, oh, I guess Yeah, that was obvious. Never mind. Yeah.
Or is it like you're like, oh, I'm so smart for thinking that this should be the next thing said, and then someone says it, and you're like, oh wait, is the only reason I thought that because I knew it was coming?
Either that, or I'm like, maybe it was a lot more obvious than I realized. Like, I'm thinking in my head before it happens that I'm like, this would be hilarious, and it happens. I'm like, oh wait, yeah.
Is it usually?
I guess it was obvious.
Like when you say like, I hope somebody says it. Are you specific? Are you like, I hope you say it?
It's usually me. I try to be nice, but it's me. I'm like, it would be funny if I said this, and then I say it, and I'm like, oh.
It's not that funny at all.
Do you do that in conversation? Like try to predict what people say?
Well, I think that.
I don't think so.
I think some people do that for a living. Mentalists.
Sure.
Psychics. Do you do that?
No, that's. I thought that's what you were saying.
Oh,
He can barely.
That's an ADHD thing.
He can barely predict what he's gonna say.
Oh.
Now he's got to predict what anybody else is gonna say.
That's just me.
ADHD sounds like a little superpower then.
Huh?
Said it sounds like a superpower if you could predict what people say.
Well, you're not. Like, you're just like.
Yeah, I guess I kind of do that, but maybe it's more subconscious where I'm like, certainly going into
It's like
situations.
your brain is just going so fast. Or
Yeah.
like,
Well, maybe
they're
I
gonna
do
say
that.
this, and I'm gonna say this, and this is just how this conversation's gonna go.
I go into like situations with 1,000 different scenarios in my head. I think of like Benedict Cumberbatch from the Avengers of like there's 45 million different scenarios. I've got them all figured out, and that when they happen, I'm like, okay, I was prepared for
But
this.
then, unfortunately, just like Avengers Endgame, it's the one that you didn't think about.
Yeah,
You're
when
like,
it doesn't
shit.
happen, I'm like, oh, I don't know what to do. Yeah, maybe I have ADHD. There's things like that though, and I guess we said it in like a couple, like 10 episodes ago, where I was like, I think I'm schizophrenic. If I have ADHD, I don't want to know. I think that's where I stand. I'm very
Just do what I'll do at some point. Just take an Adderall, and if it makes you just go normal, you have it.
But
and if not, you'll have a good night.
But go normal is what he said. By the way, if you
I think it's
are
normal.
wondering whether or not you should do that, just remember that he said he hasn't done it yet, but is telling you should do it. So just forewarning.
Like the COVID shot.
Yeah.
Trump.
What?
Operation
Oh, wow.
Warp Speed.
You don't ever hear him being blamed for the vaccine, even though he was the one who created it in the lab.
Oh, the Wuhan lab.
Sorry, not to bring it up. Did you hear about?
Biden?
Not to get too political, but did you hear? No, but did you
2
hear
weeks
about
in a row.
J.D. Vance already?
Like that bomb?
What?
Or like the joke bombed. There wasn't a physical bomb.
I was like, you can't be specific.
Sorry. What about him?
Apparently, Trump is having cold feet because he's like, oh wait, actually.
Oh really?
We didn't know we were going up against Kamala and some other random vice president. He's like, I think I might need someone with a little more experience.
Oh, interesting. No, I didn't hear that.
Which doesn't look good, but who cares at this point, right? Does it even matter?
It's all fucked.
It really is.
I don't. Well, yeah. I guess. Well, I was gonna say let's get into it. What is there to say? Biden dropped out. You come here for the news, so we might as well tell you. Biden dropped out of the race. It was. I mean, I had no time to celebrate.
Celebrate what?
If I was gonna go, oh, Biden dropped out, I'm like, yeah, that's not good. If you're pro-Trump, this is bad.
Bad.
So it's not like, oh, good, that fucking old asshole got out. Like, I don't think anyone is aware of what this means. Is like happy that Joe Biden left. That's pretty much all. I was curious. Like, I was surprised that he endorsed Kamala.
Really? That felt like it would have been insane if he didn't. Other people immediately doing it feels. I'm like, oh, okay. But
Well, yeah,
him,
that too. But I guess because I was like, I mean, the thing with Biden,
God bless.
I don't feel bad or feel crazy saying like I absolutely don't think he's actually in charge. So it's like if this was a play, then I'm surprised if they're like, hey, we need to get Biden out of there because he's not going to win. Let's get Kamala in there. I'm like, oh wait, you thought Kamala was going to win? Like that's what surprises me. But I guess I mean she raised $80 million in a day, so maybe she has a better chance than I thought.
Well, she's got a better chance than Joe Biden. Are we all agreeing on that?
I don't know.
I think so.
Oh, you don't?
Well, just because like it's been 2 days, like seeing that people donated that much money to her, like okay, this is definitely a change. But like before that, her approval ratings were lower than Biden's ever were. So I just kind of assumed like, oh, this would be a terrible idea.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's also like the amount of people, like if you want to say in 2020 people voted for Biden because he wasn't Trump, then that's what will happen again, and she has a better chance because she's just not Trump, and people hate Biden. She's not Biden either.
I will say, well, people hate her.
How old is she?
She's 59.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I mean, that
Black don't
helps a
crack.
lot too
It
for
does.
a lot
Yeah.
of people.
She just is youthful.
Yeah.
And she smiles a lot, which I guess is a problem. I don't know. People are like, oh, she smiles. Oh, okay. I guess I will vote for her then because she's happy.
But I hate happy people.
Well, that makes sense. We got 40 episodes worth of why that makes sense. What I was going to say is I feel like approval ratings matter less and less because I know so many people that go like, I hate Trump, I'm voting for him. So I feel like they disapprove of him, but they're like, but I'm going to vote for him.
Well, even the polls. Or sorry, go ahead.
Well, I'm always just curious how they get these numbers because I've never met anyone that was like,
hey,
just
do you
voted.
approve?
Yeah, just did this poll.
Yeah, no, that's
like,
what. Yeah,
Have you ever been polled?
Who are they asking?
No.
I don't know a single person that has ever gotten polled about anything.
That's what I was gonna say. Where I say on Twitter, like I follow whatever national polls or whatever, and they come out with every single state and then the entire country.
Don't you think you'd run into somebody at some point?
I'm like, who are they asking? They're not asking me.
Maybe it is those people at Penn State though. They're like, hey, can we have your phone number? And you're like, no. Maybe it's just that.
Yeah, maybe I should have said yes.
One time I did say yes. It was about like animals.
Oh, labradoodles.
Or but I was like, okay.
You're like, I'm 90% dog.
You can't say it like that. You say I'm 90% dog.
Well,
a little chow. American Psycho.
Oh, I thought you were doing Matthew McFadyen.
Chow.
We'll stay on this just for a second, but we'll get to why it's later the YouTube app after this.
All right.
We know nothing. The collective three of us as a unit know what about politics? 2%, and that's on a good day.
Sure.
We just have, like Bo Burnham said, we have opinions of other people's opinions.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even have that anymore.
I just think, if you want Trump to win, this is not good because they clearly, and Trump has come out and tweeted on, what's that called?
Twitter?
No. He doesn't have it.
True
he
Social.
Does have it, but I think he's maybe on whatever.
True Social.
And said, like, I can't believe the Dems, we spent all this money preparing for Biden, and now it's Kamala. Like, don't you think we should be reimbursed? And it's like, don't you think if you think you can win, you don't care about that?
Yeah.
Aren't you self-funded? What does it matter? It's like, he clearly is upset that he has to now debate someone who can speak.
Right.
So we'll see.
And he has a big hole in his ear. Like, it's a bad week for Trump.
Well, I think, like,
bad week.
In his defense, in terms of a debate, like, I don't.
Sorry. And he has a big hole in his ear. If that's not his drop, I'm ending the show.
Like, in terms of a debate, I do think Trump would be better than Kamala in terms of a debate. Like, I think Hillary's better than Kamala, and Trump beat Hillary in the debates. The problem is.
Did he, though? But did he beat her in the debate, or was he just cooler and funnier?
Well, but the people voting for Trump are voting for that.
Right, I hear you, but it's like the debates aren't even real anymore. Like, no one's like, what are they going to say about the policy? Like, that's what we all go into. Like, maybe this time it'll be the time, and then they talk about their golf handicap. So it's like, oh, man, he beat Biden in the debate, but, like, what did they talk about?
Right, yeah.
So I hear what you're saying, I obviously, but I think at least... I don't know. I guess maybe it doesn't matter.
I think it's just like, Trump's. If they debate, it's not going to be a matter of whose policy is better. It's going to be a matter of, or like whoever wins. It's not going to be. They're not voting for Kamala because she's going to crush Trump in the debate.
Yeah.
I'm predicting. I could be wrong. I don't think she will. Mm-hmm. But they're not voting for her because she's better than Trump. It's because she's not Trump and she's not Biden. And no matter what she says, people are going to vote for her because of that. Or most people.
And
the same people that voted for Biden. I mean, Biden wasn't rocking and rolling in 2020, and he beat Trump in 2020 for what I think the same reason.
What was the Andrew Schultz joke? He's like, no one's got Biden merch.
Right. Yeah.
What was I going to say? Well, I think by the time if there's another debate, it's not going to sway anybody's opinion. People know who they're voting for. So it doesn't matter.
Well, yeah.
I would say the only thing that would be in Kamala's favor is like, remember when we were watching the debate? It's on film. And 35 millimeter, and
it's true.
They were like, Jake Tapper was like, Donald, what is your? Or he didn't say Donald. He said Mr. Trump or Mr. President. What is your message to the voters who are afraid that if you lose, there's going to be another January 6th? And he was like, let me tell you about January 6th. We had the best economy, and he didn't. And we were like, dude, that bad move.
Right.
Biden couldn't say what the fuck is wrong with you because he didn't know where he was.
Yeah.
Kamala could be like, did you seriously not just answer that question?
I changed my mind about that, by the way. Because he's on trial for it, I don't blame him for not bringing it up because he's on trial for it. So anything he says about January 6th, other than the gas prices, is now under an extreme microscope.
But
I do agree that it was stupid for him to say that, but I don't blame him.
You think he would have owned up to it if he wasn't on trial? No.
I don't know.
No.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like I said, I think I said it at the time.
Okay.
I think it was stupid for him to do that, but now I don't think it was.
Okay,
stupid.
that's fine. But either way, Biden didn't capitalize on that
Right.
because he's not there.
Yeah.
She could at least be like, "Are you kidding me?" And then if he was like, "Well, then what was he going to do? I'm on trial. I can't talk about it." That's bad too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So at least she could. Again, not that.
Yeah, it's not good that he's. I'm not saying that's good. He's on
No, I
trial.
know.
Not that you're saying that.
And not that it matters. The debates don't matter. But at least she can actually be like, "What the hell did you just say? Do it again."
But I don't know. But even that, like, she's not a. She doesn't come off as a very smart person. So even like she's laughing all the time. I don't think it's because people are saying it's because she's happy.
Can you
I think
elaborate?
it's because it looks like she's a stupid person.
I'm not picking a side, but can you elaborate on that? Why doesn't she come off as a smart person?
Everything she says is in an effort to have a soundbite. And it's very obvious after hearing her talk for a while that like the things she says, the way she phrases things, are what she's trying to do. Is the way JFK had. It's not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone claps and says that's a great saying. She tries to do that a lot, and that's why she talks the way she talks. And it always comes off as like, wait, what did you say?
Okay, so I got two things. Number one, to me, that sounds like every politician that's ever been alive.
Well, I was thinking Trump too on that. Yeah.
But he didn't say that Trump comes off as a smart person. And number two, how often do you just see clips of that instead of like an hour-long speech of Kamala Harris? Because I feel like.
But I don't know if she has those.
Has what?
I mean, I guess she does.
Of
but
course
like,
she does.
They,
I just feel
certainly
like
not
the people who
popping up.
hate her. Because I was talking to you about this. She has the lowest approval rating for any vice president in the history of the world.
Yeah.
And we just talked about how that may be bullshit now or whatever. To me, that doesn't seem entirely warranted. Why do people even really care about the vice president? They just kind of do nothing, and everyone's like, I hate her. And I think it's because they pull the coconut clips or the We Did It Joe, and oh, she's dancing with these kids. She sucks. And I'm like, look, I don't like her. I don't not like her. But to be like, no, she's the devil incarnate. I'm like,
I don't.
No, I'm not
think
talking about you. I'm not talking about you. But
I'm
like,
representative of everybody, though.
where did that? Like, if she was,
we don't think that.
Like, maybe she doesn't come off smart or whatever, but she was like an attorney general. She was like a judge. It's like, I feel like you probably are smart if you were in that position. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't know.
I think part of it too is like, I don't know. I said that. I forgot what I was going to say, and I thought that would be enough time to remember, and I don't remember.
I just.
But like even something like the border, like she was in charge of the border, and then in an interview, they're like, "You have never been to the border, so what is your expertise?" And she's like, "Well, I've never been to Europe." my point is, like, if that's like your one biggest thing, and clearly, like, that's something that people come against, like, against Biden at, it's surprising.
That's another politician thing. Like,
I know.
They're in a million fucking committees and shit like that. Like,
yeah.
But I guess not necessarily
saying,
she screwed up at the border, but like actually, what has she done? And you could say the exact same thing about Mike Pence. That's fair.
But my point is, why does everybody hate her then? Why does everybody I talk to that's our age hate her? Like, they want to kill her. Well, maybe I shouldn't say that. But they don't. They hate her.
Yeah.
I'm like, why?
I think it's also weird.
Is it because
she's a woman? No, like that's what I was gonna say.
Feels
I think
a
it's
little bit
weird
like that.
because what is annoying about that is because she's the first female vice president, so to have a critique against her, like the go-to, not from you guys, but like the go-to is like, well, because she's a woman? Oh, is it because she's a minority? It's like, no, it's because she's stupid. Like,
She's
I'm not
not
against
stupid.
Stupid? I think she is stupid. I'm not going to lie to you. I do think she is a stupid person.
Again, I haven't heard, like, besides you saying you've heard weird sound bites, like, let me get Ted Cruz sound bites, let me get Pelosi sound bites.
I know, but at least with Ted Cruz and Pelosi, there's
not in the,
it's 10% of their stuff. Like, literally everything I've seen.
10% of Ted Cruz and Pelosi.
You see Ted Cruz go against that, what's his name, the border guy, like, actually do well against him in a debate at the Senate. Or whatever it is. I don't know what I'm talking about either, but I've certainly seen clips of Ted Cruz where I'm like, okay, this is actually impressive. He knows what he's talking about. Maybe he wouldn't be a good president, but I'm not upset that he's like a senator for Texas. And then Kamala Harris, like even Biden saying like I'm not tricked into thinking Biden didn't pick her just because she's a woman and just because she's a minority, which is definitely a part of it. Where
well, that's a move.
Like that was already off. So it's like, okay, now you are, I said under my microscope earlier, but like, okay, Kamala, if people are already thinking that you don't deserve that position and you only got it because you're a woman and a minority, prove them wrong, and she has yet to prove anybody wrong. I think that's part of it too, where it's like you actually haven't done anything, and the biggest thing you went in to do is take care of the border, and you haven't even been there. Mm-hmm. And then she just laughs it off as like, well, I haven't been to Europe. It's like, okay, that's fine, but if you're not taking it seriously, it's hard to take you seriously. It's like, what actually are you doing? And now all of a sudden you're the best option for the president. Like, it's hard to take that seriously.
Well, that's different. I don't know if she's the best option, but they clearly think she has the best chance to win just because she was on the ticket that won all these delegates. I think she wouldn't be my first choice if I was picking. But here's another question I have. If you said before that Biden is not in charge, wouldn't that mean that she is partially running things? So whether or not you agree with what's happening, some people would say that Biden did a lot of great things. Well, wouldn't really that be her? If he wasn't really doing all this stuff? Wouldn't that be partially her? Behind the scenes?
I just assumed it's someone higher than Biden. And they picked a brain-dead guy and an idiot and just said, we're going to make the choices here. It's like she's just along for the ride.
It's like John Watts directing the Spider-Man movies. It's like Kevin Feige's going to direct them. You're going to sit here and answer all the press questions.
Yeah.
No, I don't disagree with that.
I think I had something else about it. I don't care. Oh, well, okay, but it does. Okay, wait, two things. One, it's funny. Like, I think a lot of people say, like, how annoying Trump's tweets were. And certainly he did tweet a lot of crazy stuff. I think also, though, it's just because he was the first president where Twitter was like a thing. Like, obviously, Obama was in office when Twitter was a thing, but Trump was the first one where Twitter was big and went into office and, like, had already tweeted. And it's obviously not the exact same thing, but Biden resigned on Twitter. Like, he didn't have a press conference saying, I'm leaving or I'm not running again. Like, he tweeted it. So that just tells you how important Twitter is. And maybe Trump's crazy for what he tweets, but at this point, like, I think every politician is going to use Twitter as a platform. That's one thing. It's not in defense of anything. I just think that's interesting.
No, I agree with that. No, that is interesting.
And then
that is crazy.
It puts Kamala Harris in a very weird position because Biden is saying, like, in his letter, he didn't say, I'm unfit to run again. He just said, I'm not going to run again. Mm-hmm. But the implication is, like, because you're unfit.
Yeah.
So now it's like, okay, if you're unfit to run again, are you unfit to be president right now? Mm-hmm. And it puts Kamala in a position of, like, well, we could vote him out. Like, technically, they could vote him out if the president is unfit, the vice president, and whatever it is, Congress or some shit. This is where I don't know what I'm talking about. But it's the 25th Amendment.
Something about I'm just a bill or whatever.
Yeah, like, they could vote against him. So it's hard.
Why would they ever do that?
Well, I don't think they actually would, but it's a weird position. Like,
I know exactly
if you don't think you're fit to run again, how can you say you're fit to run right now?
What can I tell you?
And we have the ability to vote you out, but we won't because it would imply that we just sat for the last 3 years and said you were perfect when we knew you weren't.
Well, I think...
Can you grab me a cord down there? There's some on the second shelf.
I think what they would say, and I don't know if I believe this, I'm saying that maybe or maybe not, he's fit to be president for the next 4 months.
Yeah.
4 years from now, God knows what he's going to look like. So I think they're just saying that they would say, again, I don't know if I'm saying this, but what they're going to spin it as, and the reason why they won't do this, Silas, and I think maybe the way to get out of it, quote unquote, is to be like, no, he's fine. Mm-hmm. He didn't say I'm not fit to run right now. I think if you put him in a lie detector, he'd say, I think right now I'm fine. I think 2 years from now I won't be fine.
Yeah.
Which I think is the idea.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, we might as well just get her in right now instead of this guy beating me because I can't speak on a debate stage and just we can't wait any longer.
But
don't point at me.
If there is, now I just came up with this. Like, if they, whatever,
it's okay.
Biden could. Why did Biden resign? If the plan is to get Kamala in there and that she'd be a better option. Well, I guess I know the answer. I'll stay with it, but I know the answer. They should have just kept Biden in, let him resign after he wins, and get Kamala in charge. I guess it's because they don't think Biden could beat Trump.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That's what 3 beers will do to you when you try to think about politics.
Do you think, and stay with me here because this is going to sound crazy, do you think Biden is like the worst thing that could happen is Trump winning again? And I think the right thing to do is bow out because she has a better chance. Do you think in his mind he made a moral call to be like, no chance?
I don't
no
just
chance in
because
hell?
I don't think he's in charge. And I like knowing after the debate, it took him a month to like find like whatever happened 2 days ago when he gave up. Like I don't think it's just because he finally went, okay, I can't run it. Like I really think he's out of his mind, and it just was finally the powers that be were like, you are resigning. And that's why it flipped after the debates. Like out of nowhere, everyone is anti-Biden, and I thought he did well on the debates compared to other things I've seen him, and that's why it was so odd to see on Twitter or CNN or whatever people calling for him to resign.
To be fair, we were talking over the whole thing.
Yeah,
but I agreed with you. I was like, I couldn't believe how many people were like, "Wait, he's old." I'm like,
but even at the time, like or at least like after the episode was over, like when we recorded it, we said he did fine. After it was over, we saw how many people said it was a poor performance, and then the next 3 days were just like everything I saw was people on the left saying Biden's got to drop out, Biden's got to drop out, and I was like, oh wait, where is this coming from? And now he did, so it's hard to just be like, I don't know. I have a feeling that something else is happening where people are like, we got to get you out of here.
I don't disagree with that either. I mean, I said it's the ultimate example of telling your grandma she can't drive anymore. You know what I mean? Where it's like, well, she still thinks she can, and you got to lock the keys. Then you got to throw the keys in the goldfish pond. I don't know why I just said that, but I believe you. But the only thing I would say is that he just get COVID a couple days ago. So people were saying, he was just sitting in some room for 48 hours, couldn't do anything. Maybe he was sitting there like, I can't do it. I can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
That's a possibility. Or maybe Joe was like, we got to drop out, Joe.
Yeah.
This is going to be hilarious when Kamala doesn't become the nominee.
Or in 2 days from now when he dies, and then this comes out Friday, and we're like, what's Joe thinking? And we're completely missing the part where he's been dead.
So I have a question for you.
Okay.
If Donald Trump was killed, does Joe Biden drop out? Interesting query.
I think so.
Really?
Well, it seems like they just don't want him there anymore. So.
But weren't we all just saying it was because they think they need to be Donald, and the only way to do it is if Kamala is in office?
Well, I firmly believe that if you put most reasonable people against Trump in a Republican primary, like without Trump there,
I see what you're saying.
People should not want to vote for him over career politicians that actually know what they're talking about.
Yeah, but the ship has sailed.
Yeah, exactly. But it's over, so it's like.
Well, if he had died,
I don't know.
It would give the RNC 2 days to come up with a person to nominate.
I think they would have postponed it. They would have had to have, right?
Like any normal Republican that they replaced would have beat Biden, I think, pretty handily. I think that's what the essence of what I was trying to say.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So
I said that very poorly.
Okay, well, you didn't really say anything. So what you were saying...
I liked it a lot.
Well, I put you on the spot to throw you off because I knew it was a hard question. so what you're saying is he still would drop out because they're like...
Well, now we're really fucked.
Could you imagine that?
Oh, right,
if
right,
out
right.
of nowhere it was just... I'm happy that nothing bad happened to Trump. I'm not saying that. Could you imagine if out of nowhere, 3 weeks out of the debate, it was a clean slate? There was just Kamala Harris. And by the way, I bet you it wouldn't be Kamala if Don was no longer with us. I think because if the Republicans were just going to be like Marco, I don't know, somebody, JD Vance, then they would have been like, Gavin, you want to do it now? Let's do it. That would have been wild. And there's still a chance. You never know.
I mean, that.
Could you imagine if the Florida, or I guess not Florida, I guess any delegates, the Pennsylvania delegates, they're waiting and they're like, we give our delegates to Josh Shapiro.
Right.
And they don't give him the gauntlet. Is that how this works?
Yeah.
That's
technically,
crazy.
Kamala is not the nominee.
No, yeah, I know. But
that's what's weird.
Is it how it works is that once the time comes, they just say, whoever is in charge of the state just says, we're giving our delegates to this person.
Yeah.
And they have to give it to the person who won the vote, obviously. They can't just be like, actually, no, we're giving it to this person.
Yeah.
But since there's no vote, they could just say, we're giving them to Silas Stearns.
Yeah.
Wild.
That's the thing. It could be Hillary.
I know.
It could be Josh Shapiro. It could be Gavin Newsom.
Would Hillary win?
I don't know. I was thinking, I'm like, I bet she would because enough people are just waiting for somebody else.
Could you
and
imagine?
forgot about the reason they didn't vote for her in 2016.
I'm on the fence. I'm on the fence
I
whether or
don't
not
agree
she would
with
win.
that. I don't think she would.
I think it'd be closer than
Or
2016.
at least if she did, that's what I would be nervous about. Is I think if she had won, it'd be because people are just waiting for somebody else. But I don't know. I was going to say Kamala would have a better chance than Hillary, but I think people hating Hillary.
Are really sick of old people.
Yeah.
Well, I think
I would hope.
The only pro for Hillary in this case is that I think people would be like, well, at least she won a primary.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing. Or it's like, well, she clearly has. Like, if you were thinking, should we give our delegates to her? It's like, well, Kamala didn't win anything.
Yeah.
Joe Biden won the presidency, picked her. Not in that order, but you get what I'm saying. At least Hillary beat all these other people 8 years ago. Jesus Christmas, 8 years ago. No, I don't. I think. I'm on the fence. I think Hillary would still lose. I think it would be just as close as it was in 2016, but she'd still lose. I think you're right.
Mm-hmm.
They're just sick of old people.
Yeah.
I haven't seen her in a while. Maybe she looks great.
Yeah, maybe she's younger now.
Maybe.
Maybe she's younger. Do you think Newsom would beat him?
I don't think so.
Really?
Well, I think the benefit for Kamala is that she's been in the public eye for 4 years. Like Gavin,
Not
like
enough people know who he is.
Yeah, like if you're putting anybody, Gretchen Whitmer, Josh Shapiro, like any of these people in a very awkward position, if it's not Kamala, to be like, you have 2 months to convince everybody that you're better than Trump. Trump's been campaigning since 2015.
Yeah.
So now, like even Kamala, I mean, she's got the edge on Gavin and Gretchen Whitmer,
Yeah.
but she doesn't have the edge on Trump in terms of campaigning, and no one else does.
What about Bobby?
Now that's interesting.
Do it in the voice.
I think that's very interesting. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean,
Yeah, you haven't heard
that
anything
never
from
would happen
Bobby.
in a billion years, but it would be wild. Again, there's that word wild.
It's wild stuff.
Anyway, who's that?
Johnny Carson.
Okay. Hey,
But yeah, I just think it's a very weird
I'm excited.
scenario, but I'm not tricking myself. Like even how I said like it was surprising me that Biden endorsed Kamala is because I know that that doesn't mean Kamala is the nominee. So did they just do that to trick people like me into thinking like, oh, it's going to be Kamala, it's going to be a landslide, and then out of nowhere they put like Hillary or Gretchen Whitmer in there, and then you have to reset yourself and go, wait, now what? Like I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm not thinking it's going to be like this is just a slam dunk for Trump. That's all.
I think she'll probably be the nominee.
Yeah.
They should run someone from like fucking Wisconsin. Just some random.
Just some lady.
Josh Shapiro. Why not?
That'd be fun.
Literally nobody knows who that is.
Everybody does. Everyone was around for the Dr. Oz, and that was like
That
an
wasn't
important
him.
one. No, I know it was Oz but it was all on the
Fetterman.
same day. So I feel like people were
What
like,
if it was-
"Oh, Oz and Fetterman," and then Shapiro and what was his name, Doug Mastriano.
Yeah,
and
he
like,
was a little off the rails.
Yeah,
That would have been funny if he was Trump's vice.
I have a big poster of him in my room.
What's it called? It would have been great. What if they nominate John Fetterman to be president Hoodie?
He's turned around. I like John Fetterman now.
Whoa.
It really
You're
was.
liberal now.
What?
You're a liberal now.
I've been a liberal. Everybody said that he was an idiot, and then he turned around and it was cool, and now I'm like, oh, I guess it was just like maybe it was that stroke. He finally, grew out of it. He rocks. I still don't like Dr. Oz. Stay in your own country or state or whatever.
Lane is what you were saying?
Yeah, Lane. Yep.
He's
Sorry.
American.
I got a couple beers in me. I got really racist against Dr. Oz. That was not supposed to take 45 minutes.
What? That was a 45-minute conversation?
No.
Oh, thank God.
But that was a very significant amount of the episode. I'm surprised.
Okay, so I'll just blow through these right now.
What do you guys think? Comment below.
I'll do the Kamala immense below. That was good, right?
Nope.
A piece of movie news broke earlier today. I'm hoping you guys didn't see it. It's very exciting. Twisters came out recently. Ever heard of it? We never told. Oh, we never. It's great. Did we talk about it on the podcast?
I don't think so.
No.
Great.
Last week you said, do you want to watch it?
It was great. $100 million.
Loved it.
Spielberg.
Very fun.
Nice. Executive produced. Weird, like, I don't even know how to describe it because it's not a sequel. It's not a remake. It's just the same concept, different people. And
It's
I'm like,
cool. I like that.
I do too, because it's like people who love the first one will go to see this one, and it's like, well, they can't, Last Jedi, your favorite Bill Paxton, you know what I mean? Well, he's no longer with us. You know what I mean? They can't Last Jedi, Philip Seymour. Well, maybe not him either. You know what I mean? So, it was just like its own thing, and it was just fun. The message was like survive. Be nice to people. That's what I said in my review. The message was survive and be nice to people. We can get behind that, right? It was a little false advertising because the trailer at the end, he's like, "We got twins," and it's like twisters. And I thought that was going to be the movie, and it's not. It's just about a big twister. It's not like there's two of them now.
Oh,
it's just one. Anyway, Glenn Powell and Daisy Edgar Jones on press tour, and they're like, "You got anything else on the books coming up?" Blah blah blah. And the guy was like, "What about Top Gun 3? You doing it?" And he's like, "I have a date to start filming." Top Gun 3.
Wow.
He said, "I have a date for filming."
Nice.
And they were like, "You want to give us any details?" And he goes, "Absolutely not." Which makes me believe he's being serious.
Yeah.
And I was like, that came out of complete nowhere.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
And they
That
said,
is nice.
and what's funny is like, the news is like, Glenn Powell confirms Top Gun 3, he will be reprising his role as Jake Iceman Saracen. And I was like, his name was Jake Saracen? Where the hell did that come from?
Any name that sounds like Saracen sucks. Let's just
Well, it's a last name. No. But my point is, like, I think in the credits it says Glenn Powell, or not Iceman, I said Iceman, Hangman. Glenn Powell, Hangman. Did it say Jake Hangman Saracen? Where'd they get that name? Anyway, that's very exciting.
Interesting.
They better not. One Kaczynski, Joseph Kaczynski, director of Top Gun Maverick. By the way,
is he the guy who played Jim in The Office?
Close, director of If. By the way, when Twisters ended, it said directed by someone, the guy who directed Minari. Good for him. And then it said story by Joseph Kaczynski. And I was like, wow, this guy just knows how to remake movies.
Oh.
If you're gonna do this movie, don't kill Tom Cruise. Like we are, like don't, like just don't even put him in a plane.
Unless he's got throat cancer.
If he's not in the movie, if he's in it, let him be in it briefly. Like let Miles Teller and Glenn Powell be the leads of this one, and let's do something completely different. And maybe TC is there in the background.
Who's
Force Ghost, Tom Cruise.
Oh. Good abbreviation.
TC. His
Not
name's
for
actually.
me. I have no idea.
His name's actually Tom Mapother. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Doesn't really roll off the tongue, although it did right now. Anyway, Top Gun 3. That's very exciting. I'm excited for that.
It is.
Hope they take their time.
That's fun.
Hope they fly into real planes again. Should be awesome. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the Top Gun trilogy will be like the best trilogy of all time.
Yeah.
How the hell did that happen?
Yeah.
But.
Or the Twisters trilogy.
You never know.
It's on the table.
Well, people were saying, would you call it Twisters 3 or Twisters 2?
Oh, yeah.
Electric Twisterloo.
It would.
Waterloo. Sorry. Maybe that one's a musical like Joker. By the
what are
way,
they
again,
gonna
the
do?
screen recording is just this. Somebody was going to say something.
I forget.
Give him 10 seconds of silence to try to figure it out.
What were you talking about?
Top Gun 3.
The Twisters
I said
2.
out of nowhere, the best trilogy of all time.
Oh, it wasn't even
Best feeling in the world.
It wasn't even anything important. I was just saying they'd probably name it something like another phrase after it. It wouldn't be just two.
Oh, yeah. Twisters. A mind of its own.
Yeah, something like that.
Oh, you just reminded me of the Jurassic.
Best feeling in the world.
The Jurassic World new. Apparently, I hope it's just the working title. It's the. I'm so excited for this movie. It's Gareth Edwards, Rogue One director, Scarlett Johansson, new Jurassic World franchise, whatever, and it's David Koepp, the writer of the first two, like Spielberg first two, writing this one. They apparently shook him up from his sleep and were like, "Help us!"
Yeah.
And I was so excited for it. And they're like, "We found out what the title is: Jurassic World Rebirth." And I'm like, "I'll pass. I'm good. That sounds like the worst thing ever." I have the title right here. Ready? We went from Jurassic Park to Jurassic World. Why is it not called Jurassic
Solar
Kingdom?
System. Oh.
No. Universe.
Sure, yes, literally. Why are you... Don't do Jurassic World. If you're going to do a new thing, do Jurassic Kingdom, Jurassic Universe. Seriously. Good job.
You don't like Solar System?
I'm right here.
Jurassic Solar System?
They're coming in from Mars.
I mean, dinosaurs on the moon. They did Transformers on the moon. And they showed like CGI JFK, like, is Optimus out there? Anyway, JFK canonically has fought zombies and talked to Optimus Prime on the phone.
They always go to JFK for those, huh?
He was the best. He was just the best.
It's just a storm, Dick. Anyway, that's from the zombies thing.
Oh,
it is really. It's hard to believe that I couldn't see. She was always right beside me. High School Musical. That's
High School Musical 4 is coming out.
Don't you dare.
I thought that's what you were going.
No, it's hard to believe that by the time this podcast comes out, we all would have seen Deadpool and Wolverine. Because I told myself, don't even listen to the reviews, don't even look at the reactions, because you're just gonna hype yourself up. Couldn't help myself. I haven't heard any spoilers. This is why I deleted the YouTube app, because for No Way Home, just like recommended, you could be scrolling and it was like Toby and Andrew just like in frame and like 360p, and I'm like, that's the movie. Okay, got it.
You just spoiled that movie.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry. No, I haven't spoiled. Could you imagine people out there who haven't seen it who still cared? Like, shit. So I deleted that. I deleted Instagram. And quick sidebar, by the way. I deleted YouTube, and it was right like on one of the Core 4, I call. One of the apps on the bottom of the iPhone. My brain is so messed up that I'll open it and go, okay, go to YouTube. And I click knowing it's not there. That's how bad my brain is. Anyway, I've heard that it's just the best thing ever, this movie. And by the way, I watched the review, and the guy said he took his friend who had only seen the 2 Deadpool movies, and the friend loved it. So there you go.
No, I think I'll like it. It's just a matter of if they're going to bring anything with Loki and
I think
Marvel stuff since Spider-Man.
Oh, I wouldn't worry about any
idea
of that.
what's
I'd
going
be worried about any X-Men movie that's ever come out that you haven't seen is probably. But the guy said like that stuff went over his head, but it didn't matter because the movie's good.
Yeah.
I've heard it described as everything you thought Multiverse of Madness was gonna be, instead of just
Don't even know what that is.
some character from The Office showing up. And well, it was Doctor Strange 2, and people were like, "Whoa, Multiverse of Madness! It's gonna be insane. There's gonna be people from every single."
It's going to be madness.
They went to like two worlds, and one of them was like, in this world the traffic lights are triangles. I'm not. Am I joking? No. But not completely their fault. It was COVID, but whatever. It doesn't matter. I've heard it's like that time stand. I heard it's like No Way Home, but like like a good movie. Like, no offense to No Way Home, like we love it, but it's not exactly the best movie of all time.
Yeah.
Thank you for putting the microphone up.
Of course. And I've heard from people that are in the know that they couldn't believe that some of this stuff was kept secret. Like Endgame level, like what the fuck is going on kind of shit.
That's fun.
Now, unfortunately for you, if it's X-Men stuff, it's going to be...
I'm aware of the characters.
How many more do I have to watch of those? Can I just bang them out before?
I mean, if you're down, we could do a little...
Marathon tomorrow?
Yeah, if you want to... And you could just pop in every now and again and watch a couple if you want, just to be like, okay, this actor plays this, whatever. Like, but what's weird is like... If they're just referencing, oh my God, this person from this movie shows up, that doesn't on its own make me think Endgame, like the portals or Toby showing up in No Way Home. I can't even wrap my head around what would be so shocking from those characters.
Right.
The only thing I can get to this level, and I feel comfortable saying this, I don't know this is happening, but we've talked about it before, and even this is like, this would be awesome, but it wouldn't blow my mind, is Chris Evans' Human Torch. That would be like, oh, this is fun, but I'm like, I wouldn't be like, holy shit. I'd be like, okay, yeah. That makes sense. He was in the Fox movies. It's Chris Evans. Sure.
That would be fun.
I can't even wrap my head around what they're saying is like mind-blowing. I don't know.
No, that's exciting.
It's very exciting.
That's why I'm like, I don't want to watch trailers or whatever.
Yeah.
I just want to go into it and be...
But like apparently like the thing that they showed in the most recent trailer is like it's nothing because people are like, well, why'd they show that? It's like literally nothing compared to what the movie. But apparently the movie is just good too.
Yeah,
it's not just that. Yeah. And I've heard where it's like No Way Home or no, not No Way Home. Excuse me. Multiverse of Madness was like, whoa, it's. Do you care if I spoil Multiverse of Madness? Oh, it's John Krasinski as Reed Richards.
Oh, I knew that.
Yeah. Why was he in the movie? Because it was John Krasinski as Reed Richards. Yeah, apparently, every single cameo is like they don't call them cameos because like they have like reasons to be there.
Okay.
So I'm like, all right, cool. It's like more than the reason that Jamie Foxx was in No Way Home.
Yeah.
I thought you'd be black. Then what are you doing here? Whatever. But anyway, yeah, I can't sleep because I'm like, As much as you guys are gonna have fun or whatever, like I grew up in the X-Men.
Yeah.
Hugh Jackman has been Wolverine 24 years of the 25 years of my life. So I'm just like, this is gonna be a lot for me. I told Cyrus I'm gonna be crying. I'm assuming I'm gonna be crying about characters that you guys have never even heard of or seen. So maybe you could just appreciate it.
Well, I'll say this. I was obsessed with the 1960s Batman as a kid, and I'd watch it on DVD, probably 600 times.
And that's why you love The Flash.
The preview... Oh, let me get to it. The preview before the movie was X-Men, and it was always Wolverine coming out of the bathtub. So, like, I'm aware of a couple of these. I've seen the trailer probably 600 times for the first X-Men movie.
It's X-Men Origins Wolverine, him coming out of the rat, which is a bad movie.
All right, I hate it.
But what was I going to say? Oh, and I've heard, and
Best feeling ever.
Huh?
Best feeling ever.
I mean, it is. I've heard, and I predicted this. It's on my channel a month ago when the first trailer came out. I said I think what people might be underestimating, Sean Levy, the Deadpool movie. I watched the end of the second Deadpool movie today. I started crying because it's out of nowhere emotional. I was like, I think they're gonna. People are like, oh, they're gonna bring all the X-Men in and kill them, haha. And what people have said is like, no, like this is like the last time you're gonna see all these characters. Like we treat them with respect.
Yeah.
Which is like, this is like bullshit, nothing. But like if James Marsden Cyclops shows up and they give him like a nice send off, I'll get emotional because I was like, I was 5 years old when I saw this, and now he's in jury duty. He's a great guy. But just stuff like that. I'm like, I'm very excited.
Yeah.
I'm very excited.
No, I'm looking forward to it.
So you're coming for sure?
No, not for sure. But I'm looking forward to it. I still have to wait for someone to take my shift at work.
Yeah, but you just have to call off at this point.
I know, but I'm nervous because I'm like, what would my reasoning be?
You're sick.
Because I already talked to the manager about
sick.
someone
You're
taking
ill.
my shift. So they already know I need someone to take my shift, and then I'm going to be like, oh, by the way, I'm sick.
But here's the thing. But
woke up with the stomach flu. Crazy.
No.
I've been shitting blood.
Did you give the reason why?
No.
So you could be like, I try to get someone to cover, I just can't be there. See my point?
Somebody died.
I'm just saying you're
Maybe
gonna
Biden will die that
You're
day.
gonna miss. People have been saying it's the end game of whatever. You're gonna miss this cultural
We're
moment.
in the end times, kid.
No,
I know. Yeah, I do. We'll talk about it after the show.
No, I was like, why is my phone so warm? And then I look at it, my camera's just been going at nothing for probably an hour.
We're on camera?
What?
I'm trying to think if that's all the
We're on
movie stuff
film.
I had. Top Gun 3, Electric Boogaloo. Twisters was great. DP3. That's it. That's all I got.
I got there was a guy at work today. I don't really ever talk to him. He's younger than me. He's like 19. And I kept trying to crack jokes, and I'm hilarious. So anytime I say anything, everyone laughs, bends over laughing, holds their stomach, and this guy wasn't giving me an inch.
Wow.
Like every time I said something, he just went, "Oh, that's funny." I was like, what's happening right now? Like, I'm aware that half the things I say like actually aren't funny, but I know
some of them are.
If I say that, like, if I say it in this cadence and it's something you don't expect, this will get a laugh. And I did that, and he just went, "Really?" Like, the one thing he said, this is the only one I remember, and it happened multiple times, but he was like, we heard a truck pull in, and he flinched. And some guy was like, "Oh, what's your problem?" He's like, "Oh, well, I have a thing with loud noises, but I'm also deaf, so it's kind of weird." And I was like, "Oh, that's like a blind guy being afraid of the sun." And he went, "Yeah, good one." And I was like, I mean, I don't think it was the best thing in the world, but that's where you're supposed to go.
like he's like past like the point of courtesy at that point.
Yeah, I was like, what is happening? But it didn't make me mad. It just made me sad. I was like, am I an idiot? What's going on? Is everyone here faking? Is this the only guy with enough balls to be like, yeah, you're not funny. That's not funny.
Wow.
But it's only because I'm aware in my head. I'm like, this actually isn't funny. It's just what you say to get a laugh. And he called me out. I was like, this is terrible. I really don't like this at all. Yeah, that was funny though. And he's, like I said, he's a lot younger. So I'm like, I thought I had respect and humor and cadence, and he just didn't give me anything. It really...
Classic teenager.
Yeah, it ruined my day. I mean, clearly it's been 6 hours, and I'm still like, I got to talk about this on the show. So that was something.
I wonder if he goes home and he tells his parents, like, God, there's this guy at work. He's so funny. But I just can't. I don't know how to tell him.
They're like, he
It'll
has a
go right to his
podcast.
head.
Or maybe he thought you were funny and everybody else laughed, but he didn't laugh because he didn't want to be like in already. Like maybe he wasn't comfortable. And then he did that once and was like, well, now that's what I have to do.
Well, I hate you. If you were trying to be my friend, that didn't help. I really don't like you. That's all I got.
All right. Before we get to the King of Comedy, I think this would be fun just because we're recording pre-Deadpool and it's going to come out post-Deadpool. We all would have seen it once. And like I said, apparently it's just chaos or whatever. So let's go down the line here. And it doesn't matter what we know or what we don't know about the history of whatever. Predict one major cameo. Funny, serious, whatever.
Cameo?
If you would like me to filibuster and go first.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm gonna predict one, and I'm gonna say something on top of it. I don't know anything, but what would blow my mind is if we get to see Tobey Maguire again in the Spider-Man suit, and he says "fuck" because it's rated R.
Yeah.
That could be like that could be funny. That's all I got.
Are we gonna get the old
What?
Fly as a fly.
What's happening?
You don't have
I'm
to
trying
fake
to
laugh.
think.
I'm aware I'm shitty.
Is it the old Deadpool or Daredevil that he referenced in the first one?
You're talking about Ben Affleck's Daredevil?
The one that was bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, is he gonna show up?
Is that your prediction?
Yeah,
There you go, Ben Affleck's Daredevil.
that's
Wow.
my prediction.
Post cancellation, T.J. Miller will be making a return to the Deadpool films, and Ben Shapiro will be there with him on a leash.
By the way, I would not put it past them to put him in the movie and then kill him. Like decapitate him immediately. It's like, oh, TJ, you needed the money. You know what I mean? So that could happen. And also, I'll just say one on top because I said this a few episodes ago. Ed Norton's Hulk.
Oh yeah.
Ed Norton's Hulk.
That would be fun.
Which would
I
not
guess at
make
the
any
time I
sense
said
at
that
all.
would be annoying.
Which
or
wouldn't make any
something.
sense. No, you didn't
Yeah.
say it was annoying. I just said, like, I think they would do it for a reason. You're like, it would just do it because it's cool. I'm like, maybe.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, that's it. All right,
I'm
cool.
open to it though.
So TJ Miller is your answer. By the way, Gina Carano's in that first movie too. Yikes.
She is?
Yeah. And then you got Ben Affleck's Daredevil. I got to say, yours feels the most likely.
Really?
Yeah. And there's going to be a Batman joke probably. Oh, wait, there's... Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's literally very dumb.
Here we go again. What did they name it Deadpool 4?
I was like, what if they just said fuck it? We'll connect MCU and DCU.
I was. Yeah.
And fucking Bane shows up.
I know.
Tom Hardy's
That was gonna be my
Bane.
joke before T.J. Miller is like Adam West Batman. I mean, he's gonna be in it.
I was watching...
Oh, it's just for a second. They're like, oh shit, wrong universe.
I would not put it past them to do something crazy like
Yeah, it's not like it's illegal. I just said, like, they could do that. They could.
Could they?
I actually don't know. Maybe not.
No, I think they probably could. What was I gonna say? Shoot. You've seen Batman v Superman?
Yeah,
you
once.
have to-
Hated it once.
Sure, but you know, like the memes and stuff. I was watching Deadpool 2, and he was like, he comes home in the very beginning. He comes home, and she's like, "How was it?" And he was like, "I was in a really tough fight with this guy, and then I stopped trying to kill him because I found out his mom's too's name was Martha."
Oh, he says that in the movie?
I'm like, oh, these movies are funny. Anyway, exciting times.
Yep.
Excellent.
Less than 48 hours away. Only MC movie this whole
Well,
year.
for you guys, for sure.
Come on!
You'll be there.
I'm excited. Is that all we got?
I think so. Terrence Howard.
unpack
Terrence
that.
Howard, War Machine.
Oh,
In
Oh,
Deadpool
shit.
3. Oh my God. I gotta stop thinking about this. Oh my God. All right, go ahead. And he's doing math. Sorry.
1 second.
Leave that in. I just got the chills even thinking about him showing up. Oh my God.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Townhouse Comedy Club. I was trying to watch one of those gender reassignment surgeries the other day, like a man becoming a woman. They chop them all up. I can never get to the end of those because every time I do, I always just come way too fast. But I like trans people. I worked with a trans woman at FedEx, actually, back in Pennsylvania, and we got along very well. The only concerning thing was every time I made a joke I'd be like, hey, maybe next time take the stairs. And she would be like, ha, 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 ha. I'm like, you're losing me a little bit here. But that's why I've always wanted to sleep with a trans person. Not like have sex with her, but just sleep in the same bed. So in the middle of the night, I can just scare her. And she's like, hey, who's there? And I'm like, so that's how you really talk. You're not getting anything past me, my friend. That's all I got. I'll see you later. I'm getting all these out now.
Wait. I think that was by far the best one you've ever done.
Oh, thank you. What do you guys think?
This FedEx guy doesn't know shit.
Girl.
Yeah.
No.
See you later, everybody.